if I mention that, I've got my regrets from following the dream because there's certain things that, the timing and the hours I worked, I didn't have a very normal life, right? I married late. Okay. So when we talk about that, you could say, well, I guess if you married your wife, you met her at 52. I mean, if you had to be on a boat, and you never would have met her unless you were on a boat in Cape Town, South Africa. So maybe some of those choices you made that you regretted, they also had fruit. Sure. Because without that, you wouldn't have met your wife. Yeah. Right. So the butterfly effect type stuff. Right. You know what I mean? Yep. So just that frame that, a lot of your listeners, and again, I'm just gonna, before we start, like I'm that thing that you maybe could have been. I'm also that mistake you might have made, but I'm still a vision of the promise of the things you could still accomplish. Like, look at this. You guys probably didn't think you'd be doing this 10 years ago. Right. Yep. Dreams can come true. Nothing sweeter than the next dream fulfilled or next dream, dreamt. Sure. Right. Sure. Yeah. So just that thing, I think, gives my story interest to your listener. Like, what if I had been a DJ or a singer 30 years ago? What would be now? Well, I can show what now looks like. Exactly. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So and if you regret it, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Awesome.
Because you weren't.
We got to talk.
Let's.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And welcome to the Help Me, I'm Middle-Aged podcast.
Where you can find fun, exciting things about being middle-aged.
Oh, you're going to find things about us and about yourself you never thought you knew.
Hold on, come along for the ride. It's going to be fun.
Welcome to the Help Me, I'm Middle-Aged podcast. My name is Rob.
And I'm Rob, too.
And our guest today is Will Fern, a lifelong magician. And he's going to talk about his story and his life on the road, and as we like to say, a road less traveled.
Yes.
A lot of questions.
Yes. For the podcast, Will.
Thank you. I guess I am that road less traveled.
Yes.
For your listeners. Yeah. That could be an angle for the whole thing. Like, okay, so you could have been like, I was just, but Will Fern here, full-time professional magician for 30 years. And, I could have been somebody. I had a college degree. I was summa cum laude high school grad at St. Joe's. I'm touching over there. And I could have had a job. Like I could have had a 401k. Right. But I decided to be a magician for different reasons. And so, I'm the road less traveled. So maybe it could be an instructional tale, or a mythical tale of what it looks like if you took that path less traveled.
Right. Been a DJ, been an actor.
Yeah. Right. I did it. I did that. So looking back, let's talk about it.
Well, when you're a kid, though, or you're a young person, right? You start with the tricks. You're sort of like very fascinated with magic. Your aunts and uncles are watching you, and then but you go from that to you take it to the next level and you continue. So where did the drive come from? When was the first time you?
What's the history?
Yeah, what's the history? How did you get drawn into this industry?
Just goes quickly, man. And just one more point I want to tack on to what I said before, just to maybe keep people listening, because it's going to be a lot of the things I loved about the choice I made, but I'm also old enough now to realize the things I've missed, the things I regretted about what I've done and what I would have done differently. And I think that might be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to hit on that, Yeah. But I guess the genesis story was my brother was a very successful high jumper. He was like state champ in Jersey in the high jump back in '72. Jumped like 6'8", wound up jumping 7'2" one day, like almost made the Olympics. Wow. It was really good. So we invited the coach for dinner. He got a full scholarship to Clemson. And so whoever heard of Clemson back then. So just to say, so we had the coach for dinner, right? John Mitsopoulos, Mitso, we call him. And just to be a guy. We had a few pizzas. Hey, thanks for, coaching Ed, blah, blah, because he didn't start talented. This was a good coach.
That's good.
My brother was not, he'll be the first to tell you he was not a stud the first year. And but anyway, so he, just hey, thanks for the pizzas. We had a little pizza party, a new house, folding table and chairs, no TV yet. I'll entertain the kids, right? So he, goes to his car, brings out an attaché case, opens it up, and then for nigh on 3 hours, he just regaled us with amazing close-up magic.
Really?
I guess maybe my brother knew he may have done it, but he didn't want to do it a lot at school. He didn't want all the kids knowing he's a magician. But he's a very adept amateur and just blew our mind. Card tricks, coin tricks, all sorts of stuff. And I always say the same thing. When he opened up his hand and that little red hanky was gone, the big bang of my brain exploding into the universe is still expanding.
And how old were you at that time?
I was 7. I had to know where the red hanky went. Right? Gotcha. I promise I won't hit the table again. Yeah. So that was it. And Mr. How do I get to be like you? So go to the library, get a book. So next morning, I'm knocking at the library door. Yeah. First time ever. Waking it in. And I got this big book of card magic that was well advanced beyond me. Should not have been in any public library probably. It was a pretty advanced text. That's where I started.
Nice.
Right, and my hands are tiny. I'm trying to palm cards. It's like you trying to palm a 8x10 frame. You know, like what's palming cards? I'm 7 years old. But it was tough, and that's what got me. If it was easy, I probably wouldn't have been so hooked. But to do anything in this arcane, adult level book was hard.
Right.
So I couldn't let it go. I own that book today. I wound up buying it from the library years later. I had because that book was in my house for a couple of years. So anyways, it was
like a Bible almost.
Yeah, it was a reach beyond the grasp, right? That kept me digging at it, and it became very challenging, right? And so that's what hooked me because I was a pretty adept kid at school. I was pretty much a straight A kid, whatever, back in the day, and so that was hard. So that really engaged me on a whole nother level, Yeah, so that was it. And I just got into it. And once I got these skills, then he comes to the house. I say, well, I heard you learn a few tricks. Show me something. So I showed him something I learned. He goes, where'd you learn that? And I said, I got in the book in the library. He goes, show me the book you got that in the library. Right? So I take out this 398-page book. I slap it on the table. He goes, what is that doing in the library?
Wow.
He goes, all right, listen, don't hurt yourself. Bring that back to the library. Of course, which means I'm not bringing it back to the library.
Right.
Forbidden fruit now. Yeah. So I'll bring you a book next time.
You play the late fees yet?
Every 2 weeks. I'm packed up now, Willie. Just keep the book. Nobody wants it. Right? You have to come every 2 weeks. You got the book, Willie. Just bring it back when you're done. And so so that was it. That was Genesis story, and then just on from there, just became a lifelong hobby, and then eventually a career.
So that if that book was not that detailed, you may have just bypassed the whole field.
Yep. If it was another book on, like a lot of kids' books are, you get 2 hankies, a piece of rope, 2 clothespins, and you do this trick, and you set it up and you do it, and then you don't have this. Nobody. Your audience is not 4 people. You do it 4 times, you're done. I mean, a couple neighbors, your friends, whatever. And then the next one, you need a toilet paper tube, and you need construction paper and rubber bands. Okay, so you put that together because you don't have skill, so you have to rely on a prop.
Right.
But cards is a skill level that goes ever more.
Right.
No one can do it all. There's impossible things that nobody can master it all. It's too deep. It's too wide. You wouldn't believe it. It's the most published art beyond. It's more published than any other performing art by far.
Really?
Just card magic, much less magic itself.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. It's a very published, it's a very creative field. You really have no idea.
So
I have probably 4,000 books by now. Probably 3/4 of those are card magic books.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
anyway, so that cheap deck of cards could hold me. I could just stay with that one thing, right? I didn't toss it aside. That deck became the piano.
Wow.
Right? What I could do with this one deck. I didn't have to spend any money.
Yep.
I just had this book to go farther and farther and farther into. Right?
So now you travel through the high school years, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's graduating high school.
Yeah.
You have a fascination with magic.
Yeah.
Or was there anything that happened prior to high school?
No. Just a hobby, show my friends and family. I had 40 first cousins, so there was, in time, no lack of opportunity to perform because I would always get together.
Right.
Big family. Although I was very, very shy, like most kids. I was very shy, of course, and it helped me come out of my shell a little bit, just because I had these things I did, and I didn't ever think it was a performing art. I thought it was just something to master. It was a skill to gain.
Right.
The produce of it didn't matter to me. It was in and of itself.
Yeah.
A beautiful
the process.
The process.
The challenge of it, right? That was enough.
The illusion.
Just making a model is great. You almost don't care to show it off. Like I made that.
Right.
I got to this trick. I mastered the double undercut. I mastered a diagonal palm shift, whatever it is. Like I was able to do these things. And so in high school was just fun on the buses to track meets. Whatever. It was just something fun to do. Right. I never thought I'd make a dime at it. Didn't care.
How about girls?
Nah, all boys high school. There were no girls, man. I had, I worked at racquetball club. I was a total jock.
Yeah.
I had a scholarship to college as well for sports. I was a hurdler, and then so it was. I had enough going on around me. I didn't need that. I didn't have any. And I would show people stuff here and there, but it was I'd be too mortified to show women. Then I was not no.
Yeah.
So at what point do you make the break in your life where you're like,
okay, so
it comes a point in time where you're responsible for your own income.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do.
This is the story, man, right? This is the road less traveled.
Yeah.
So I get my first couple jobs out of college, and I was working for editorial assistant at Rupert Murdoch magazines. I commuted to New York City for one day. And then they moved out to Secaucus to Harmon Meadow at the plaza up there, right? So I could say, hey, I commuted to New York when I was a kid. One day, it was Friday. Then Monday they were in New Jersey. So I'm like, God, you know what? I don't want to do this for 40 years, right? I knew that right away. But I would have got used to it, whatever. So anyways, I did that, and then they kept saying they were going to give me more money, and because they liked me because I was early, work late, early, work late, like I was going to be a go-getter, right? And editing, this trade publication, and it that never came. So 6, 8, 9, 10 months later, we're going to give you some extra money, give you a little promotion, not coming, right? It was publishing, which was notoriously, I don't know if that's still, but very low paid. And so I think I was making $12,900 was my starting salary in '87, commuting to New York City on $12,900.
Wow.
$12,990 was my starting salary, right? Jesus. So after that almost year, I'm like, you know what? I get this. You know, just because your name is on a byline in a magazine, like that's gonna, make you not worry about getting paid. Right. I was breaking even with my crappy Corolla, commuting to Sea Caucus an hour and 10 minutes every day, or more. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm out. So I went out and I got a job. My friend of mine was selling insurance. He goes, "Come, you can make money," right? So he was a pretty good guy. And so I tried it, and I wasn't that good at it. I was a good presenter because I was an entertainer, right? Right. Nascent entertainer, right? So, but I wasn't making real money, so that didn't last very long. Although I made a lifelong friend, which is good in the business there. And then I left that, and then I said, you know what? I forget selling and advanced whatever. Insurance is an intangibles. Give me something tangible. I like people, so I went to. I found. I figured I want to get a frame shop. Like you have these different dreams in your life. So my dream vision at the time was I was a lit major. I was into art, music, right? So what if there was a place up in Rhode Island where I went to school that was a Victorian mansion, and in different rooms were different kinds of books. I love this place. It was right near campus, right? So I go there. I said I would have one room to be the Renaissance room, and like then an ancient Greek room, whatever. And then you'd get the modernist room, and you'd get the whatever, the colonial room, and you just put the books, art, and music of those periods in those rooms, and people could have this cool. So I was looking for Victorian mansions. Like I would buy it. I had no money, but I'm just dreaming it. I'm dreaming it. You have nothing more alluring than the next dream.
Sure.
To get you up in the morning, right? So I said, you know what? So I got a job. And I figured it would be books, literature, music. So I got a job at a bookstore to learn how the book industry worked. I got a job at a frame shop to learn how to frame shop to work. Because I figured it would also be selling prints off the wall, but maybe custom framing could be another income source, right? Because you couldn't probably make a living just selling books, DVDs, and music in a Victorian mansion somewhere in Bedminster. Like I was looking around here,
That's a wild idea, though. Just a job.
Yeah, it was kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the dream. And then I was working part-time at the bookstore. Then I wound up at the frame shop at the mall. Then they wanted me to be manager of a store, so I became manager of a store. Then all of a sudden I'm in corporate and I'm working crazy hours at the Bridgewater Commons when it opened. And I'm running rescue missions to other malls up to Paramus, Bergen County. And so I was in the business. And again, I was making $23,000 then. I mean, it still wasn't a lot of money.
Right.
But I was learning the business, thinking, okay, someday I'll leave this and I'll open up my thing. And then you get caught, right? You got bills now, and I don't have a lot of money now. I got a credit card because I had to get
on the hamster wheel.
Get on the hamster wheel, right? So already it's hard to get off the hamster wheel.
Now,
right?
where was the magic at this point?
Magic was just a hobby. It was stuff I'd show the guys at the store. And Gino, who owned, God bless Gino DeMeo, I love you, Gino. He owned the pizzeria El Bocconcino when the mall opened, and we were connected in the back door at the mall, like in a very short couple of steps, right? And I remember one Christmas season, all I ate was Gino's pizza from Thanksgiving to Christmas. That's no lie, because I would work 16-hour days and often into the night. We were so busy at this store.
Right.
Gino, 2 slices, and they come sliding down this on the ground, and I pick them up and I'd eat them. So I'm not kidding. Wow. All I ate was pizza for a month.
Wow.
Right? Because I didn't care. And it was good pizza.
Young metabolism.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So one day I'm doing magic, and I'm into this 3.5 years now, and I'm just going nowhere. I'm 27, and I'm at the mall, got my mall buddies, and then Gino looks at me. He goes, "Willie, with the magic, what are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "What are you doing tomorrow night?" I said, Thursday night's my night off. You know that. He goes, "Listen, here's $100. I just hired you as my house." Because he said, "You've been talking about being a restaurant magician. That's almost sleight of hand guys start. You get jobs at restaurants, walking around tables doing magic.
Yes.
Right? And then you start getting gigs from that. People, what are you doing next Thursday? My wife's anniversary, my kid's birthday, whatever. Here's the money. You're hired tomorrow night. You're my house magician. Crap or get off the pot." He goes, "You're talking about this since I've known you for 3 years." He goes, "You don't bring home $100 a day." He goes, "I was 16 years old in the Bronx. I made sure I brought home $100 a day in my pocket, flipping pizzas." He goes, "Willie, God bless you." He goes, your mom's sweet, but if your dad, my dad died when I was 12, because if your dad was here, what would he say looking at you? You got a college degree. You're making 23 grand working at a mall. Because you should be out there killing it. At least do your dream." I said, "I'll be there." I had no answer.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Sure.
At least follow my dream.
What's the excuse
so
otherwise?
I went up. I went out. I went right down to Macy's, right down the hall. I bought this Barney purple Willie. Remember Willie Wonder? Willie wear. It was like in the 80s, right? Just bodacious big purple jacket, looked like Barney with a all black underneath with the gold with silver belt and the silver tip shoes. I walked up to this people at the restaurant and I just blew my first trick. The very first trick I did was I just absolutely blew it, right? And I said, sorry, ma'am, sir, older couple. I said, that was the very first trick I've ever done as a professional. And I just blew it. There's nowhere to go with this trick. So you know what, if you don't mind, may I please show you another? They said, you know what, young man, we'll take that answer. Sure. That was a horrible trick, but we'll watch another one. So I did the one I know I'd get right. And so then it was on from there, right? So very few, well, I've made mistakes since, but not too many. And so again, somebody pushed me over the edge a little bit.
Yeah. Is Gino still with us?
Zone. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I keep in touch, yeah. And so sometimes that dream is fulfilled and it would have kicked in the ass.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's a great story.
And that started. So then, boom. Next thing I know, I'm at 6 different restaurants a week, doing magic all over the state. I just give everybody like a 10-mile radius. Say, I'll be your house magician. I won't compete with I'll be a draw to you.
Right.
So from Rockaway to New Brunswick, Millburn, Bridgewater, and I forget where the other one was.
Just around New Jersey.
North Jersey. Yep. So I just started doing it, and then eventually I started getting so many calls for shows. Like it started happening, right? So the corporate gigs, the Christmas parties, the anniversaries, the weddings, the bar mitzvahs, you name it.
What year is this we were talking about?
It was just 89.
89, okay.
Around there, yeah, 89. Yep. So I'm sorry, no, what am I saying? Sorry. The mall was 89 to 92. So 92 I started.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's 30, what is it, 35 years? No, 30 years.
30 years, yeah.
30 years now, yeah. Sorry.
Wow.
That's amazing. So when you take it from there, and then like you start your own business.
Yeah.
And we were doing a little bit in the pre-interview. Like you traveled the world with this.
Well, eventually, yeah. Right. So initially it was just all local. Then it kind of as connections happen. Oh, we're having a party in Miami. Okay, fly to Miami. You're doing a party in Chicago. And that starts randomly happening, right? Because you go to you meet one guy at the restaurant. He's having his kid's bar mitzvah, and at the bar mitzvah you meet his cousin who's got a financial firm in New York, and then he's got a trade show in here. So I would do trade shows, like at the booth, doing trade show, getting people to come to the booth, entertaining them, talking the pitch. Yep, and I still do that.
Are you promoting, or is it just happening naturally?
It was all organic.
Beautiful.
It was all organic.
That's wonderful.
Right? I went as the market told me, which is, it's beautiful, yeah. But it's also, like they say, jack of all trades, master of none.
None, right. Yeah.
Another regret I had. If I just would have went trade show, I could have been way more successful. Maybe. That's had its ups and downs as well.
Sure.
So that every decision we make, there's regrets, right? You look back and the what if. I've got more what ifs that keep me up. I swear to you, different ways I could have taken it, right? But anyway, so I was lucky enough that, I gave myself a couple of goals, whatever. Okay, I'll tell this. So for years I just banged around doing all requests. Right. And then my brother had moved to Barbados. He married a girl he met on a plane. They got by the time they got off the plane after a 10-hour flight, they thought they were getting married. And they did. They're married 30-something years now.
Wow.
Anyway,
That's a beautiful story.
Wild, the high jumper brother, right? So and one more brother in the middle. Hi, Adam. Don't want to forget the middle child. No. he grinds us for that sometimes. Anyway, so I went down to Barbados to visit my brother, and his brother-in-law had a restaurant that they kind of opened up and partnered, leased from a hotel. So I'll do a couple nights of magic at my brother's place. Sure enough, the first night I'm doing magic. This one guy's like, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow night?" I said, "I don't know. You tell me." He goes, "Well, my family has a big resort down on that main highway, about 2 miles away. Whatever you want. I got to have you at the restaurant tomorrow night. It'll be fun."
Nice.
I said, great. So then for 2 more nights that week, I worked at his place. He goes, wherever you want to come back, you got a job. 1 or 2 nights a week. And if any more nights you want, let me know. I know everybody. I'll get you booked every night you want to work.
That's great.
So that was the first night I was there. Because I've been doing it for a while in Jersey.
Right.
And there's a little bit of truth to if you could do it there.
You
right.
Do it
I put up with every idiot in the world.
Tough crowd.
So everybody else was easy after that. Right.
Yeah.
So Barbados is great. So then I pretty much went down the next winter. Stayed 3 or 4 months, did the same thing the next winter, and then I said, you know what, I'm staying. I'm just going to stay. So I got for 4 years, I stayed down there.
To be.
Yeah, I stayed down there for 4 years, lived on the ocean, $300 a month. I lived right on the ocean. It was beautiful.
Wow.
And people would paint I walk out and I see people painting the view of my front lawn, looking out to the beach.
Question: Why are you here?
Well, I got deported. Long story.
Okay.
Egbert the clown. This is true. Egbert the clown, I think, was jealous of my success, and he told the immigration that what I was doing. But I've been out and around for a while. People knew who I was because I've been working at all these different 5-6 resorts a week for a couple of years now. And the work permit, the way they do it in the islands is they don't just give you a work permit and let you run free.
Sure.
In the islands, every 90 days, I'd go down to immigration, take a couple buses, go down to Bridgetown, go to immigration, and renew my visa for another $90 US, whatever it was, and do a show. Hey, Errol, Bradley. Marcus, how you doing, guys? Hey, Magic Matt's back. And I would do a little show every 90 days, have a couple laughs, sign the paper, so they keep in a short string so you don't wind up being an axe murderer they can't find.
Right.
You're a foreigner.
Right.
Short string, couple of bucks.
Sure.
And then when the next election came, I learned the rest of how they do things, or at least how I interpreted it. I got the letter in the mail. Your thing is on stay, whatever. You'll have to leave island for blah blah blah. Your permit is temporarily denied, whatever it was. And then I showed it to a lawyer friend down there. She goes, okay, it's an election year. She goes, they get the headline showing, blank prime minister gets to show union protectionist strength by getting rid of foreigners taking our jobs.
Right. Yeah.
So cut the clown. Cut the clown. Right. the head of the bank stays.
Deport the magician.
Yeah. The head of the bank stays. Cut the clown. The top chefs stay, but all these the guys, the hot tub salesman and the magician and the painters, whatever.
They all gotta
go. And then you come back. I could have come back the next year. I said, I had my fun.
Yeah.
So I came back. Said, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to get a wife, get a girl, settle down. So again, what am I missing? Okay, I'm missing the life. So now I'm going to go back and get the normal life. I got it out of my system. I had a ball. It was great. My brother's kids were young. It was wonderful. It was halcyon days.
Yeah. What are you, 28, 29 at that point?
At this time, I'm like 34.
34, okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
And I'm 36 after all these years, right? So anyway, so it's 2000. I come back. I get the girl, and I buy her the ring after about 9 months or so, maybe a year or change. And then
you're in New Jersey.
Yeah. And we're planning out our little life together, right? And then I said, you know what, I was working a day job. I went to work. I worked for. I had a couple string of day jobs, right, in tech, like high tech website, whatever. So I was working for a web company, giving country clubs their websites, and I said, you know what, before we get married, I got to try magic. I got some new ideas for magic, not just. I got this team building idea I came up with. I started doing some team buildings. They're going well. I want to push the team building. I want to work agents better, and not just be another strolling magician. Be a strolling magician they could put at a convention or a business training session where I could be not only just the entertainer, I could be doing a team building as well.
Right.
So some strolling during lunch, a team building after lunch, and maybe the awards gala. I'll do a stage show as well. Right. I could be a triple threat and brand that training session as the magic of, or whatever reason corporates get together.
I think that's
fascinating. Companies get together. So I had this idea to really be my own file on on the planner's desk, right? And I think that's good for anybody looking to segue into a new industry where you be the guy on the bottom of the pile, create your own pile. So I figured, well, you can. All right, don't tell me 10 years from now you wish you followed your dream. I trust you. Go follow your dream. So to her credit, she said, follow your dream. Not to her credit, the engagement ring I bought eventually for her, she asked me if I kept the receipt because it was a little small.
Okay.
So you know what? I did keep the receipt.
Right.
Thank you very much. And I realized where that might have gone.
Right.
Sweet girl. But I
wish her luck in life.
Yeah.
Did you meet her through magic?
No. It's totally random. Yeah. I met her at an oil change shop. Anyway, so then. So I followed the dream. I gave myself deadlines or goals. If I can make 50 the first year, 75 the next year, 100 the next year, and then boom. So
that's good.
And I kept myself on those things, And so that's something I've done to kind of push myself.
Don't be nebulous in your goals. Don't be like, I hope I succeed. That type of thing. Yeah.
So when you're starting out something new, you got to have that to push you.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Metrics to be able to actually measure it.
So now, like, you're doing this corporate gig, and you're you're the full package for, and corporations have tons of money to spend. They do these team building things all the time. Yeah. So, but is that like, are you doing like actual like shows?
Well, I'm still doing it.
Or is this just like, this is funding this portion, and then like you're out there entertaining just general audiences?
Rob, it's all together. So I'm doing Tuesday nights, I'm doing this restaurant. Thursday nights, whatever, unless I get a gig, and then I said, guys, listen, I got a gig wherever in New York. I can't make it. Okay, fine. Well, we don't need a replacement. If you're not there, it's fine. And then, because all the restaurants I'd worked for 3-4 nights a week, they're all became personal friends and stuff. So there was always understanding that I had to make a living. I wasn't making a living making $150 on a Tuesday night, but I'm not there for the $150. I'm there handing out cards to the corporate guys who are at these nice restaurants. That's the business model. I'm being paid to promote myself. I should have paid him to promote me. Whatever. Yeah. So anyway, so then it's just random. It's still weddings, bar mitzvahs, team building. It's all over the map. I never put all my eggs into the team building and that basket, which I should have. Right? I had a rainmaker, and I was too busy being successful with the other things. I had a lot of different verticals. Different wedding planners knew me for weddings. Bar mitzvah planners knew me for bar mitzvahs. So and it was never. I'm not trying to sell tickets at theaters. People think, oh, you're a magician. Where can I go see you? Nowhere. It's all private gigs. That's how you make a living.
Oh, gotcha.
Right? You go, you rent the theater out. You pay everybody. You can walk away with $300, $400, $500 on a night.
By the time
you walk into a bar mitzvah, you can make $1,500 or $2,000 for 3 or 4 hours at a bar mitzvah at a nice country club. Right? It's a whole different thing, right? So that's where most of the money is made in our business. Just guys schlepping gigs. That's where the better money is, unless it's the really high-end corporate gigs, right? So which I got a taste of over the years, but I never really crushed it in that market. I never turned that corner.
Would you say you never really went for like the niche play? You just were kind of
diverse,
whatever
shot
you need,
all over the place?
Yeah, because it kept me busy. No matter what the market was, sometimes team buildings were out, team buildings are in, trade shows are in, trade shows are out. But if I just serviced everybody, and it was great because I was busy all the time, right? And I had enough of those big ticket. I did get the high end corporate gigs. When they saw me, I did it. They'd hire me again, but I never just said nothing else but that, right? Because that would have given more energy and focus to that market.
But that can be scary too, because you don't know, can you survive? Will you get enough of them at that?
Yeah, and to my credit, maybe there was a guy I remember out in he started in Chicago, then wound up in Florida, and he was the trade show guy, making big money on trade shows, right? And then after when the recession hit,
first thing corporations got back on is that.
So he worked at Starbucks, he took a big hit, right? And so that just industry went away. So with me, at least I had that hybrid vigor, so to speak, that there was no industry that if it went away, I couldn't fill in the gaps.
You were diversified.
So it kept me so good and bad. Right? I don't know.
Right.
So as you're doing this, you don't want your act to become stale.
Oh, yeah, always learning new stuff.
So where does the inspiration come from to learn new?
Magic is a thriving little marketplace of itself. Like any hobbyist,
you challenge yourself with the new.
Always. There's new stuff coming out every day. Like I told you, Magic is the most published of all the arts, and even Card Magic alone publishes more books a year than almost any other art, any other performing art. So it's that I have too much. I've got thousands of books, I got 1,000 DVDs, and all these tricks, but when you're working restaurants, you always need new stuff. People come in every week to see you.
Right.
So, but guess what? I'm spending the money as an investment because that new thing I learned, I don't need to know it. Other than Sammy and Mark and Sharon, hi guys, Pankos, were coming in every Wednesday at the Famished Frog in Morristown to see me. I wanted something new for them.
Sure.
So I'd see online a new trick, put your finger through a $50 and pull it out, and it's all distorted, whatever, and it's cool, and it restores again. Okay, I got $20. Okay, fine. So I guess I'm new, but unless I was doing that R&D, I wouldn't my top 20, let's say, wouldn't be getting better. I could have settled, but I'm always looking for the next trick that can maybe be one of my very best tricks. And I know some guys who stop learning and then they get stale. Right. And that's the good thing about magic. It's always a hobby. It's fun. Even if I don't do the trick for anybody, someone's just, boy, this is a great trick, great idea. I'll use it for something someday. Even I was going to show you something today I got this thing I could do that I could do it for you guys here, and the listeners at home or watching could do it and amaze themselves. Right, I just literally combine. I got this morning saying, I should do something. There's been books written about things magic on radio where there's no visual. Right. There's books written about this, right? And I said, I combine two ideas, a new idea and an old idea, to something that's never been performed in the world. I'm not kidding, and I could do it for you right now if you want.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I gotta do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so this will be a fun thing, right?
So interactive with the audience.
What does our listening audience need? A deck of cards?
So I'm taking a deck of cards and take out Take out 9 cards, right? Oh, you know what? Do you feel lucky, Rob? You feel lucky, right?
I always feel lucky.
Okay, good. You know what? I
feel lucky I have you as a guest.
I don't know if that's going to work or not, but I'll try it. So do me a favor. Think of a card, right? But don't do the ace of spades or the queen of hearts. Okay. Don't be that guy. Everybody does those. Those are the common cards.
Okay.
And by the way, Dave, I don't talk fast, do I?
No.
I do talk fast. I know. All right.
I actually have a question too.
Yeah. All right.
Dave's
so which card do you want, Rob?
You want me to tell you the card?
Yeah.
9 of diamonds.
Okay. Could I possibly have known out of all the cards you could have picked that you're going 9 of diamonds? Could I have known that?
No chance.
Pretty fair pick, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Now he's filmed me on 2 angles now. Come on. Right? But I tell you what, I don't know if it's true, but I left one in the box. And it's a 2 of diamonms.
2 of diamonds.
Yeah. But every 52 times, been a pretty good trick. That's a dumb joke.
I mean, I could block myself right here to cover like your hand area.
I'm sorry. There is 2 cards. Sorry, there's 2 cards in the box. Take a look.
Bang!
Okay, fine.
Oh, that's awesome.
You thought that was gonna suck.
And we didn't even stop filming. Like this really happened. There's no editing.
That is incredible.
So there was another card in the box. And it was 9 diamonds. Okay, it's a quickie. Okay, so everybody get 9. Take out 9 cards, guys at home. Right. So there's 3, 6, 9 for you. Right. And then Rob over here, 3, 6, 9 for you. And by virtue of the process, anybody paying attention, then you will be able to do this for your friends and family. All right, just pay attention, and then you'll put together the dots as this happens. It's a pretty amazing trick. It's a combination of 2 really wonderful tricks. So you get 3 piles of 3.
Turn them over.
Yeah, mix them up. You get to mix them up all together. Put them in 3 piles, however you want. There's no order to the cards. Mix around the piles if you want. Just wind up with 3 piles of 3 in front of you. No, leave them face down.
Okay.
Right, faces down. Right.
All right.
And so now pick up any of the piles. Right, shuffle that pile again. Right. And then just look at the bottom card of that pile. All right? Mm-hmm. Remember that card.
Yep.
Drop that on another pile, any other pile. All right? Now pick up that big pile that you just made and drop that on the other pile. Okay? Now we're going to do what I call the agita shuffle. The agita shuffle. Let's make it nuts here. So we're going to just hold the cards face down in your hand and deal. We call it left hand dealing position. All right? As if you're going to play cards.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
And now into a pile, one at a time, one on top of the next, right? Or one on top of the prior. Like into one pile, deal 1, 2, and then as many as you want. Just deal down as many as you want, right? Not all 9, somewhere less than 9. And then when you're done, turn the pile that's in your hand face up, okay? And drop all those cards on what you dealt.
Okay,
let's do it again. So again, deal down any number you want, turn over the rest, and drop them on the ones you dealt. Okay, so right, that's it. And so randomly, face up, face down. I can't control how you guys are doing this.
That's right.
Now again, do it again. Deal as many as you pick up. Deal as many as you want. Again, into a pile on the table. Stop when you want. Turn over the ones left in your hand. Drop those on top. Once more for good luck. All right, and then just deal as many as you want down. I'll deal more this time. Turn over the rest in your hand. Drop them on top. Random. Right. Okay. Now, I'm going to see if you guys want to decide in your head if you're going to be liars or truth tellers. Now, it's going to be a little bit of a what do you call it? Lie detector test, right? So pick up the cards now, hold them in your hand just as they are.
It's always good to be honest
with the
audience.
So now, think of the card. You remember the card you looked at, right?
Yes.
Okay, decide if you're going to lie or tell the truth. If you're going to tell the truth, spell the name of the card the way I'm going to tell you right now. Watch me first, right? If it's, let's say, Ace of Clubs, almost the same process as before. I would say, put down just deal it onto the table into a pile, A, C, E, and then drop the rest. Okay? And then the next one. So lie or tell the truth. So if you're thinking of a queen, know that you're a truth teller, spell queen. If you're thinking of an ace and you want to lie, you can spell any other thing, 8, 4, 7. So decide in your head if you're going to lie or tell the truth.
Okay.
Okay? And now, Rob, 1, right? As many as you want, just like you're spelling ace or 2, whatever it is. You did that?
Yep.
Now drop the rest on top. Right? Now pick them up. I'll do with you first, right? And then do of, it's the middle name, is of course, every card is, let's say, 2 of. Now put of.
2 cards for the letters.
Yeah, OF, and drop the rest on top. On top of there. Always onto the pile you just dealt. Pick those up. All right? And now, again, you're lying or telling the truth. Mm-hmm. So the one you're thinking of, not the original card, but this one, let's say you're going to go whatever the suit is. If it's spades, spell out spades or clubs or hearts or diamonds. Go ahead. And then when you're done, throw the rest on top. Boom, you're good. All right, pick up all the cards. All right, you ready? Stay there. do the same thing.
Okay.
So the first, if it's your ace or 2 or 3, spell it out. All right, drop the rest on top. Pick it up. Now do of. O-F, drop the rest on top. And down the suit. Whenever
With
the
an
suit is.
S at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Clubs, hearts, spades, or diamonds. Okay. You got it? All right, drop the rest on top. Okay, pick them up, guys. All right, so now, did you lie or tell the truth?
Tell the truth there.
Okay, so spell out truth. T-R-U-T-H. Just R-U-T-H. And that was your card? Okay, you screwed up. Okay. Sorry.
Did you do?
Yeah, he misspelled the first word.
No,
I always saw you put that on 2 cards instead of 3.
I don't think you put an S at the end of the.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's hearts,
my
spades. Okay,
dyslexia.
let's see if Rob got it right. Okay.
What am I putting down?
Yeah. Cut him out, yeah. Hold on, did you lie or tell the truth?
Truth.
Spell out truth. And the H should be your card. Take a look. You got it?
Get the heck out of here!
Truth. You got jack clubs. Okay, good. All right, that was a little complicated, guys.
No way!
All right, so
Little
at home,
Yeah.
you're gonna hit pause a lot. You come back to
It's
it.
okay. But I'll give you the Reader's Digest condensed version, guys. All
Okay.
right? So, again, you think you 3 piles of 3. On the one pile, look at the bottom card. Drop on another pile. Drop on another pile. Okay? You can forget the whole upside down process.
Right.
But this part's cool. People at home. So you just do that, and you could just spell out, like I just looked at the King of Diamonds, right? So they spell out, and give me a card.
2 of hearts.
So 2, T-W-O, right? So I'm dealing 1 per letter. O, F,
Right.
the rest on top. H-E-A-R-T-S, and drop the rest on top, okay? Now in that case, I lied, right? So L-I-E-D, I lied, but bingo, you can right. I spelled out lied, and the next card is the King of Diamonds, okay? So for those of you with any kind of mathematical bend, I'm not allowed to give out a secret, but the process works. You play with it, and you'll see it works, okay?
Wow.
Anyway, so...
I got a question. Have you ever made your own tray?
Oh, yeah. I have some DVDs of my material I've published and things I've put online and sold. And it's kind of cool to see, like there's this big magic website called Penguin Magic, right? So I have some stuff for sale there, and people review it. So it's cool to see reviews from, I just got a guy reviewed my product, one of my products from Jerusalem last week.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Will Fern, I didn't know who this guy was. This guy's amazing, amazing chops, which is skill. But man, but his advice on how to treat an audience and how to work a room, that was worth way more than the price of the DVDs. Like about being a magician. That was some advice I did in an interview on the DVDs. So that's wonderful. Some guy in Jerusalem changes how he's being a magician because of me.
Internet's
and
amazing.
all over the world. It's so fun. It's
Will,
so fun.
when have you ever thought like you are a what I would consider a content creator, right?
Yeah.
You put a lot of content out there.
Yeah.
And we're all going through a lot in life.
Yeah.
But when people come see you or
Right.
you're doing something, you're taking them away from whatever their problems are, whatever their head is.
COVID.
And you whatever. And you're entertaining them.
Yeah.
Like that's a value add to people that is I mean, when you think about it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a story about that, man. Because people like me, I look at guys like you got an office, you got awards, you got frames, you got guys making a living, you got a retirement plan maybe. No, I just walk in the parties and I walk out. I with a check. There's no, it doesn't look like anything, right? So you often, like I used to, even in my very first restaurant job, right? I walked in one night and the manager was this particularly wizened young man. He's probably younger than me even, but he was on his way, he was in seminary school, right? And just particularly wise young guy, right?
Top notch.
And I said, hey, Rob, his name was Rob. I said, I'm having a spontaneous burst of ludicrousness. He laughed. He goes, I think I know what that means. I said, oh, this is the Frog and the Peach, the best restaurant in the state. And I'm walking around doing card tricks, like a dog rolling over at the tables, because I was banging them out 6 nights a week, 3-4 hours a night. I said, what am I doing? I'm a grown man. I got a degree. What am I doing? Right. Walking around doing tricks.
Sure.
And he laughed. He goes, philosophize all you want. The guy at the end of the bar came in to see you. Go amaze him, right? We laughed. And we laughed about that for another year about, how's tonight? I'm good. And then the night, I'm feeling pretty spontaneously ludicrous. Because I'm a grown man, right? I do tricks. Things that aren't real, right? So cut to, there's a couple of quick stories. I'm in a restaurant in Hoboken I was working at the time, Cello Luna, a nice Italian restaurant. And a bunch of Wall Street guys, rented out the back room. They're having a big blast of a party, getting drunk and stuff. And I've done some of my, I did all my best stuff for them. Like I just laid these guys out a lot. We had a lot of fun. And at the end, I see these guys under the table, like something going around under the table. And so the one guy said, well, come here. So he brings me outside. He goes, listen, it's for you. And he stuffed a wad of 20s in my hand. I think it was like almost $400 with 20s and 50s. He goes, listen, take this. I said, Jimmy, I don't take tips. I take my tip was, like, if people see you taking tips at a restaurant, you look like a pauper begging for change. Right? I don't take tips. If you like a card, no, please. Best tip I can give you, or best tip you can give me is take my card. If you ever need me, because that's what I'm there for. Right. Hire me for your party. Right. No tips. He goes, listen, he shoved in my pockets. Take the effing money. He goes, you know what the world needs? More guys like you. Because you made us happy tonight. Every schmuck like us can make a lot of money. Yeah. That's all we do. Because we see you every week in here, and you're walking around, you're making people happy. There needs to be more of you. God bless you. You do what you do. Nice. And I get choked up thinking about it. This guy was serious. It's a heart attack. Absolutely. Because without me and the servers, where's their money going?
Right. Exactly.
Who's serving them? Right. Yeah. So all the servers out there, hospitality. Yeah. Without us. Right? Yeah. Without the comedians, without the
world's a pretty lousy
so
place.
You are at some point, that was like a real brick in the head to me. It was a real brick in the head. I'm like, wow. And then the other one, I gotta tell you this. So I'm at the Famished Frog in Morristown again, right? And I'm doing magic for a mom, her daughter, and her mother. So 3 generations. And it's going really well. And then I walk away, and the waitress comes up. She goes, Will, whatever you do, don't go back to the table 7. I said, what, the ladies? She goes, yeah. He goes, the woman behind them was complaining you're having too much fun.
What?
It's a Wednesday night in Morristown. If you're not supposed to have fun, it's a family restaurant. Right. Like there's a serious corporate cigar lounge in the back. There's a singles bar. Great place to work. Yeah. I worked my corporate guys. I worked the singles crowd. I worked the families. So boom, every night I was seeing a great skill set developing from this place I was getting. And I walked in, and I'm sure enough later on, I walk over. And the ladies called me back. They said, can you show us something else? That was so much fun. I said, well, I would, but the lady behind you told me we're having too much fun, and I got to stay away.
Wow, what a downer that is.
Yeah, she looks over her shoulder. She goes, oh, that's Mary. She lives down the street. She's miserable about everything. Don't worry about her. So listen, just sit down and we'll be quiet. So I put my back to the woman. I kept it quiet. I said, don't laugh too much. I'm not going to be that funny. And this is not funny. There's no joke. So we had almost a better giggle trying not to laugh. Right? It was cute. And so anyway, so then I'm at the bar later working for some single guys, whatever, and all the, I had crews that come see me every week. Wednesday night was magic night, so a lot of guys come in, like, bring their buddies. It was fun. So I got this big group of people, and I finished, and there's a woman near me. I don't know who it was. So I finished, and sure enough, it's the mom. It's the middle generation, right? Mm-hmm. And she goes, come here. So again, she walks me to the side, and tear in her eye, she goes, I don't know who you are, but you're an angel. Yeah. I'm going to choke up. She gave me a big hug. She goes, and she goes, I haven't seen my mother laugh in a year since her husband died. My father died. For her and my daughter to be high-fiving and giggling, Will, do what you do. I said, whoa, again, brick in the head. Like, as silly as I feel sometimes, it matters. Entertainers matter. You don't feel it.
No.
Oh, absolutely.
But you need it, right? Yeah. So that's what would keep me going. And then, but again, to my point at the beginning of the podcast, the road less traveled. So I don't have this, I don't have that, but what a well of memories. What a well I've done. And then, but then again, along the way, you meet people and you get better, right? So pandemia came. It was scary for entertainers.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So the whole thing shuts down. You don't
imagine 100% of your livelihood.
It's just done.
It's gone.
Right.
Gone. I have no other marketable skills.
Right. You have no other
market. The card. I find it,
and that's your skill in life.
That's my skill set, right?
So if you can't interact with people, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble, right? Yeah. But yeah. So I got a million tricks, and I do them for all over the place. And in cruise ships, I did. And
how did you survive the pandemic?
60 countries
financially.
Well, I had the morph. I saw it coming. I met with my very good friend as a financial advisor, Adam. How you doing? Love you. High school buddy. And I said, Adam, I need to talk. So we have lunch, and I said, let me show you where my money is, what I'm doing. He goes, all right, you've got some savings here. Okay, that's not bad. He goes, all right, so it's going to be a rough couple of years. You got to just work that nut down, right? Okay. What can I do? And I just figured things out. So I moved. I left my 3-story townhouse in Somerset, and I bought a 1/3 the size, 875 square foot apartment condo in Flemington, right?
Wow.
Humbled it. And luckily, I'll never say that word again in this instance, but I guess fortuitously, with regard money, I have no kids, right? My wife and I are married 5 years, almost. So I could do that. I could go down to a small place.
Right.
And my wife, God bless my wife, my beautiful wife, Vanya, she's Mexican, has an expression, where there's love, nothing's missing. So write that one down.
That's
right?
nice.
But that,
So
that's 1,000.
she understood, okay, this could be a year or 2 or 3. And a top agent in the industry told me, he said, Willie, this is 2 years at least. Because for lawyers to sign off on anything, for big companies and big, trade shows and conventions to start again, it's going to be a while.
Right.
So, okay, I got it. So I cut my nuts 60%, got rid of cable. I mean, I cut it to the bone, best I could, right? Moved to Flemington, taking it easy. And then there was no money to be made, so I found the franchise. Just happened a friend of mine was doing called Discover Magic. Kids 8 to 12 years old to learn magic. And they came up with a way to do it virtually. So I saw the commercial, the 30-second commercial they put together to teach kids magic. Maybe it was a minute. And I saw kids getting the box of tricks in the mail, opening up the tricks, learning through Zoom the tricks and performing them from their family. So that little thing was done in a 1-minute video. I said, I got to do that or I'm going to go nuts. So I called my buddy whose email list I was on, who sent me the promo for the thing he was doing, trying to get business. I was just one of the guys that was in his email blast.
Right. Sure.
And the next day I sent $3,500 to a guy in Utah. I said, I'm in. Kids need me. I need them more. These kids are locked down. Here's something new magic coming every week. Learn it online. Do it for your family and friends. Do it for grandma over Zoom.
Right. Oh, that's great.
So boom, I found the direction. So I put all my energy into that. Got the logo done. Kid Wizard Club.
You were back in the game virtually.
Back in the game. So I got up to 10 classes a week, keeping the lights on. Right. Providing for my wife and doing the only skill set I had in a way I could make money doing it. Right.
Sure. Right.
So I did that for the first, all the way up to this past summer, and then I thought, okay, kids are going back to camp. They don't need, video anymore. And quite frankly, I don't want them. There are enough on the screens. Get them out, go play, get out in the yard, learn your own magic. So I recommended some books for them to take it on and whatever. So that's what I did during the real lockdown to keep me sane. And then, but guess what? So I sent an email blast to clients, and corporations were doing events online. So I did a good number of corporate shows.
Interesting.
They still have to get together, have a little meeting. They want something before the meeting, or they just want to, there are people doing all the how to make cocktails at the house.
Right.
Let's feed that demon, right? Okay. And, let's everybody get banged up because we're miserable and drunk already, right? So everybody probably had one of those how to make a drink nights. But anyway, magic was something that was clean and family.
Sure.
So companies would hire me, and I'd get all the Zoom families out there. One time I had 500 families watching me on a Zoom call.
That's awesome.
And I made, a decent chunk. It was nice, and I never left my kitchen table. So I had a little thing set up, a little screen behind me, or like a real, proper theater screen behind me with lights.
So you had a roadblock, and you figured it out.
Yeah. So I figured I did come up to virtual shows. I got the thing, and then slowly it started coming back.
Is that still going though?
No, I stopped the virtual stuff.
Okay.
You got to get back out.
It was more like magic demonstration than performing.
Right.
Performing like last night. I did it. Last night was a big mortgage company, MLB, right? Mm-hmm. MLB mortgage company. What a wonderful family. Anyway, so I did a trade show for them in Atlantic City last month. They really got a kick out of it. They said, listen, we got a big awards night. Come do the awards night. So then mostly, all these, mortgage guys, a lot of young guys and girls and all the people working in the industry, pretty young. And just, again, walked out just high as a kite. Everybody just having fun, backslapping, high-fiving. I'm going to tables. People, end of the night, big group around. Just fun.
Great night, man.
Oh,
Great
so
night.
fun.
Killed it.
And just, great. 150 people, whatever it was. And just had a ball. Had an absolute blast.
Nice.
I said this, I'm doing enough of these, but again, last driving home, I missed this. I missed the contact.
Sure.
It's
performance.
You need that, right?
Yeah.
You need to feel the audience, right?
It's the minutia. You're in the minutia of the game.
Yeah.
In a given year, how many different performances do you?
Oh, it'll be north of 250 a year or so.
So you're out.
Wow.
4 or 5 a week. Yeah.
You're going down to a
club
in Flemington.
Oh yeah. Believe me. I only moved there a year ago. That New York commute is longer now. But not that much. Only 15 minutes longer. It's okay. It's a nice drive. I love Flemington because you're in Flemington too, right?
Me too.
Yeah. Flemington.
Roughly, love it. Yeah, it's great.
Potholes.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, it's so.
So I had to navigate. You got to be creative because, is the phone going to ring today? Is the phone going to ring today, Rob?
Yeah.
Right? And Rob.
Run.
Right? You got that too. You have to bring in new clients. I get it. Everybody's in business.
Right.
But man, it's when you're on your own like that, and it's scary out there, you know. But again, to my thread running through, you know, boy, I wish I had some job security. I got a wife. I mean, she's wonderful. I want to provide for her.
Right.
You know.
I don't know, everything you said so far, I can't see the regrets, you know.
Yeah, well, there are regrets because I would have had the fatter 401k if I had any job, right? So I've got a decent amount. My financial advisor said, listen, if you could double twice in 15 years, which is not incomprehensible,
right,
with your savings nut and add to it, because you'll be fine. And especially because you're going to retire to Mexico probably.
Right.
It'll triple right there.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, let me ask you this: how long are you going to do this?
He's going to do it till he dies.
Well, good question. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, magicians, you know what it is?
He'll be out with his wife at some restaurant, retired,
they just poof away.
He'll be like, honey, I brought a deck of cards. That table over there, they look a little sad. Let me go talk to him.
There's always a market. But the numbers, the zeros just diminish, right? So rather than the big corporate gig, it's the little corporate gig, right? Then it's the family gig, it's the whatever. So you just change your market, and you maybe don't make as much, but you can stay working into your 70s. You know, I know guys that have worked into their 80s. But just then you work in the restaurants that like the nice old guy because he's the friend of the owner. And guys do some kick butt stuff out there in their 80s, right? I don't know if I'll be that guy. I don't want to be doing. I don't plan to do when I'm in my 80s. Although if I can, I will. Right? I want to be set up before that. So it's all I'm thinking about. Finish strong.
Right.
Finish strong.
You have a passion for the audience, though.
Oh yeah. No,
that's huge. You can't just do it like disassociate yourself with them and be like, here's the magic trick, and then walk away.
Yeah. No. It's fun. It's total engagement. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, that's good. Do you play poker?
No, I'm horrible. I have no gut to gamble.
I would think you would be crushing it with like the ability
of. I have no stomach to gamble. Once in a while, I go to AC if I'm doing a corporate gig like the trade show with my wife. So okay, with $20 a day. So with $20 a day for 3 days we were down there, we gambled.
I would think they'd be like, you can't come in and be like counting cards or something. They'd think that or something.
I was hired once to cheat at a card game, actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, lady. She said we missed you maybe at something I did in the city, and. She called me up. She goes, listen, I hope this sounds the right way. I hope my husband forgot about you a year ago because I want to bring you in to mess with his card game. Right?
Oh, really?
So this is a card game that was really a bunch of highbrow guys in the city. It used to be one of Sinatra's main songwriters, like Card Game, and it's like now it's at this guy's house, whatever. And so really swanky apartment, penthouse, whatever, right by Central Park West there. And so I go in, and I'm going to pretend to be a fellow NYU literature professor. Right,
you can pull that off in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, no problem. I put on the tweet. I was good.
Yeah,
and then and so I get these guys have been playing for years, and it comes my turn to deal, and I make sure as I'm playing, I'm asking the right questions to look like a rube, So I said, guys, I don't understand this Cincinnati and the high-low stuff. This is before Texas Hold'em was the only game in town.
Right.
I said, can we do the one where you take 5, you can hand back 2 or 3? And all the guys are like, oh, God, he's going to play draw poker. Okay, fine. So we played draw poker. But meanwhile, I switched the decks. I had a bunch of decks on me. I had a bunch of decks on me. So whatever deck was in play, I switched it out, right? And I had a blue bicycle deck. And I deal him, like I got all my kings on the bottom.
And they never saw
And I got aces. I'm sitting on my aces. I arranged that.
He's a master with cards.
I deal to him 3 kings off the bottom, right? And so he's just betting his eyes. No poker face, just pushing it in the middle. I can't believe he got 3 kings out of 5. And then he puts 2 down for a draw. I give him another king and an X card. He's got 4 kings and draw poker, right?
Oh my God.
So again, he's pushing it in. And the other guys, a couple of guys dropped out. Almost everybody except one, because he bet heavy. He's like, what the hell? I got 4 kings, I got to bet. So I stayed in as well. And then he goes, check it out, I got 4 kings. He was so excited, as he should have been. And everybody's like, what that's amazing. Wow, great. Okay, cool. So he's pulling in the chips. I said, hold it. And you want to see 7 heads snap. I mean, hold it. I got 4 kings. I said, I'm not sure, but are the A's bigger than the K's? I think the A's are bigger than the K's, no? Right.
Is that still true?
And then I'm waiting to think what I did. I added cards.
Yeah. You're waiting.
The guy next to me, right here, he goes, hey, wait a second. He goes, how do you get 4 aces? I got a pair of aces. Who the hell's this guy?
Did they all laugh?
Oh, yeah, big laugh. Well, it wasn't a laugh at first. I said, Mary, get in here. We got some explaining to do. And the woman comes, I forget her name. She comes in and goes, John, did he get you? He goes, he got me. He's a cheat. I said, no. It's a magician from the variety show we saw in the Village last year. You son of a gun, you got me. And then we split up the pot as best we could back to where it was, and I did a little show.
Right.
But that was fun to do it.
Wow.
The only time I did did it for real under fire.
Oh, yeah?
I always wondered what it was like to be actually cheat real people. You know, it was fun.
But who's what was it? One night a week? Was that during the week? Huh? It was a regular night during the week.
Yeah, Friday night.
A Friday night. I mean, like everyone else is like I get this great experience though. Like you got a lifelong story.
I
you know
could
what I
go
mean?
for days, man.
When you say the road less traveled, but all these experiences you have are just you got.
Yeah.
There's a great book in you.
Well, I don't know. Every magician's got a book, but every entertainer's got a book in them, whatever. But that's flattering. Thank you. But I don't think mine would be any better or worse. But I'll tell you what. But again, here's the down. Again, I always come to the downside. Right? I'm working every Thursday, Friday.
Well, I was going to say, is there vacation in your
30
world?
years, you know. No. Well, yeah, you take vacation but here's the problem. You try to plan a vacation, and the big gig comes in.
Sure, inevitably.
And
right?
I'll always get the thing where I can get my doctor to write a note, and I got to back out. I only had to use that once. Anyway, so you get the trip insurance because you might get a big gig.
Yeah.
And then that vacation never happens. But anyway, dating was tough. Yeah. Right, entertainers.
What are you doing on Monday night, honey?
Yeah, the joke was you got to find a waitress or a stripper, right?
Right.
There's your gene pool.
Right.
Women working silly hours like you,
right?
Working every weekend night,
right?
Getting up late, whatever. And so,
but wouldn't women
that's
be
a real barrier
really
to entry.
Impressed and
No, it's New York. In L.A., my buddies in L.A. would date all the time. Magicians in New York. Yeah, that's cute. Oh yeah, the card's in my shoe. That's where's that Wall Street guy again? He had a really nice car.
Right,
so I'm competing with
right.
the richest guys around.
Yeah.
Right. The
Yeah.
most successful guys in in America live an hour of New York City.
Goldman
That's
Sachs,
what I'm competing against. I'm a pretty shy guy other than my work.
Right.
So I'm competing with these guys.
Yeah,
right?
it must be tough. If you
So
look at
it
like
wasn't
that.
the easiest thing in the world, right? No. Especially the woman I would look at, right? They got a lot of options. Mm-hmm. Sure. And I was low on the totem pole. Let's be honest. In my 20s, 30s, I didn't make it. I was just a journeyman magician. Sure. Not that I made it now, but I made a living. Okay,
right,
fine. Right. Do okay. But yeah, so that's why, I mean, thank God for Rich Block. Hi, Rich, if you're listening. Started this program with Crystal Cruises, where the Magic Castle in Hollywood is a very famous performance space for magicians. Mm-hmm. Right? It's amazing, wonderful place. It's like the Carnegie Hall for magic, right? So I've been performing there for a number of years, and they developed a Magic Castle at Sea program where they'd place close-up magicians in a room on the boat of Crystal. They have 2 big cruise ships, and they do 2 shows a night, maybe a third of the nights of the cruise, 25 minutes shows before dinner of each of the dinner seatings. If people want a little something special, as if you're walking into the Magic Castle. Sure. They decorate it with magic posters and signs, and as if you're walking into the Magic Castle and see a world-class sleight-of-hand guy, like only guys who have been vetted to work at the castle and have worked at the castle many times could work this room. So you're going to see somebody who's a professional.
Class A magician.
World-class professional. Humbly, I submit that's what you're going to get. And they get the best sleight-of-hand guys in the world on this boat. So I was actually honored to be one of the first 2 guys they picked to prove the concept, me and my buddy Asi from Israel. So, we proved it. They went for it. It's been running for 10 years. It's a very successful program for them. But anyway, so just by virtue of getting into the boat, I was, I did a lot. I did maybe 2. I didn't want to lose my land business.
Right.
Most guys who get on cruise ships, again, you got to pick and choose in magic. So some guys be a cruise magician, that's 6 months, 8 months, 12 months at a time.
Sure.
And then you lose your land business.
Right.
The agents
you're not making those contacts anymore.
Yeah, the agents don't want to know you if you might not be around. They're not
Right.
booking. They don't know where you're going to be, so they don't book you. So you are all a cruise magician, or you're not.
Right.
And I had to decide that when I was at the age where I could have decided to jump into that. I said, yeah, I like my friends.
Right.
I want to stay here. I'll make a living here.
Yeah.
Right? Because they just on the road. I know guys who did it and loved
did
it.
it once
and
or
some
twice,
guys did
you
it and
got a little
regretted it.
feel for it,
But
right?
this was, I could do it once, twice a year.
Oh, that's
2-3 weeks at a time. That's perfect. So I planned my vacations.
And can you bring your
And that's where I met my wife. Yeah, I could bring her wife now. But she was teaching Spanish on the boat.
Oh, okay.
Because they had a language learning program. So she was teaching Spanish. Met her in Cape Town, between Cape Town and Rio. That's because Crystal just follows the sun all around the world. So I've been to like 60 countries. She's been like 80 countries. She's doing it longer than me, right? And so I met her. And forget it, she wasn't into me at all. Fast talking East Coast player. I don't get 3 words he says. He can't match his clothes. He's looking like a chooch with the cargo shorts and then the plaid shirt. Forget about it. I threw in chooch. That's a very kind of guy. But yeah, she had other words in Mexican, right? That I was just clueless and talked too fast. I don't know what you were saying, but you kept looking at me like whatever. But she wasn't into me. But we kept in touch. Some call it stalking, I call it keeping in touch. She was in San Diego. We just kept talking over the months. And I had to convince her I wasn't this, because it's my job. The average age is 85 on the cruise that we did.
What?
Crystal's
85?
Crystal's an older set. It's a 6-star cruise line. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
And 20-something years running, best food of any cruise ship. So foodies that are older with money, they go to Crystal.
Right.
There's no better boat for food.
I didn't even know about that.
Well, yeah, it's great. So anyway, so we, again, luckily there's only a few non-80 octogenarians, the entertainers,
Right,
and
right.
and
So they
the,
stick
and the
together.
fly-in people like her for a few weeks, and so we got to be friends and whatever. So yeah, so just the butterfly effect, just randomly getting on this cruise ship, meeting this woman in South Africa who lives in San Diego, and we just kept in touch, and she got to know that I wasn't the entertainer guy.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a human being,
Right.
But I'm on the boat. These old people, hey, how you doing, Mary? I had to sit down, everybody, and laugh and do a couple tricks, just because I'm meant to be the fun guy.
Right. You have
She
to be.
thought I was
you have
just
to have
a
the
nut.
extrovert activity.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. So.
Will, what a life.
Oh no, I got stories and stories.
Do you have a like any idols that the public would know? I mean,
man, that's a tough
Doug
one.
Henning or anything like that. Or?
Yeah, well, Doug Henning was great. Of the major magicians, no, because sleight of hand, close-up magic was my passion.
Right.
And I do a stage show. I've done shows for 500 people at a time, a big banquet hall. I have a show that can do that. Right. But my passion is always sleight of hand. So Jimmy Grippo, Slidini.
Okay.
Bob Sheets, I could throw out 100 names you never heard of that are legends in my field.
Right.
Mountaintop,
Right.
Di Vernon. You never heard of
Right.
Di Vernon? Maybe the most influential magician of the 20th century. Right.
Okay.
My guys are not the most, but the kids now, they're going to have Shin Lim as an idol, or Matt Franco because they won America's Got Talent.
Right.
So close-up magic was finally given a respectable vehicle in America's Got Talent because they took it serious.
Right.
And they let Shin Lim just do card tricks. And Shin was just, not to put him down at all. Another one of the guys making a living doing close-up magic.
Yeah.
Right.
See him at the convention. Hey, Shin, how you doing? Hey, Will, how you doing? Just another guy at the convention, trying to win awards. Maybe get on TV. Maybe get, a gig in Paris at the Crazy Horse or whatever.
Nice.
The better place But Shin got on AGT, and he had a romantic look about him and a non-goofy style. Usually close-up magicians, you do parties. You got to be fun at parties or you're going to make a living.
Right.
So the angle normally tends toward fun guy.
Right.
He's not a party guy. He was a theater guy. So he made magic look mystical and wonderful. And he just took card tricks and just amped up the wonderful aspect.
He was able to build an
the
audience.
mystical, and boom. And then he built an audience in AGT, and now he's got his Vegas show. He did great.
Nice.
So close-up magic will be more respected in the future because of guys like him.
Because that generation coming up watching
Yeah,
him.
they watched magic done really well close-up. All we had back in the day was like Mike Douglas, right? You got Johnny Carson,
Right.
and maybe Merv Griffin.
Yeah.
And I would look in the TV guide to see every week. I could TV guide look to see who the
was
guests
coming
were.
on.
If there's any magicians, because there's no website, no internet. You got to look in the TV guide to see if there'd be a magician on.
Well, other than
I
David
used to love-
Copperfield makes the Statue of Liberty disappear.
I used to love Merv Griffin's show.
Oh, yeah, it was great. It was great. Yeah. And that's where I saw my idols. The day Slidini was on Dick Cavett for an hour. Dick Cavett gave Slidini 2 1 hours in a row.
Right.
Yeah.
Unheard of.
And what people don't realize is that was a gigantic audience because there was nowhere else to go.
Exactly.
The,
Nowhere else to go.
the,
Had
the
5
audiences were like
Yeah.
just enormous, millions and millions of
No
people.
YouTube, no internet.
Nothing. So
Yeah.
these were gigantic audiences.
Yeah. So yeah, man, a life of
life of
what I
magician.
should have. I wish I did. Thank God I did.
Yeah.
Right. It's a melange. So I sleep though. I tell you what, I sleep. I'm happy with the choice I made. I'm happy where I am. I got the next dream in place. Like I'm working on building a new business now. I got this looking around in Flemington. I'm looking for a little place to do a little magic shop that has. That I can teach my lessons at because I love teaching the kids lessons, right? And have a little mini theater, right? A lot of baby boomer retiring magicians, not retiring, but guys in their 50s and early 60s,
Right.
They've done it all,
Yeah.
and they're tired of traveling. They got a family and enough. So there's some gorgeous, really beautiful theaters these guys are building. There's about 20 or 30 around America, and where the audience comes to them. So not in New York, let's say, because
Right,
there's
right.
too much signal noise. But a
Branson.
Provo, a Branson, place like this where you can have that B-level town,
Yep.
Palm Springs, outside Boston,
Yeah.
So there's guys who can do this, and they'll have sometimes anywhere from 20 to 80 seats, and one night a week, 2 nights a week. Maui, 7 nights a week. He's killing it. Warren Gibson in Hawaii has been killing it. Anyway, so I'm like, I'm out there. What if I had a little magic shop? I got a 25-seat little theater,
Right.
and I've got a place to do my lessons. But more than that, almost like that's all great, and I love it. And I'll just do Friday night shows for 25, just be a little extra little thing in town you might want to do on a special occasion. But everybody gets my brochure. Hey, I'm still doing these corporate events.
Right.
My video will be showing me looking very successful at these big corporate events. So everybody in my neighborhood will know that I do these things they could book me for, and everybody walking in, I promote myself, and as well as loving to do these lessons for kids. I want to have a grandparents magic club because
that's a great idea.
I saw whenever I go see friends that are older and I see the grandkids, rush up, hug, kiss, how you doing? School's great, and on to the Nintendo.
Right.
I'm like, screw that.
Yeah.
I can make that grandparent a rock star.
Sure. Well, my father-in-law was that magician. He was a amateur magician.
Okay.
Like real amateur magician.
Okay.
But had a love for it. Went out to the castle in California. Sure. And when the grandkids were over, he was always doing tricks for them. He was doing tricks for everyone. He'd walk around the table, Thanksgiving, you know. And he just generally just had a love. Like I don't think he ever performed anywhere, but he had, and he would always be buying the tricks and everything. And there was always the scene.
That's awesome.
You can never ask Granddad about the trick. He can't tell you how it's done. You know, his name was Bob, and
that's cool.
He died too early in a car accident, but he loved magic.
Well, yeah, once you can make people happy, it aligns with your soul, and most people it would. And if you've got that capacity in your hands to do it, and the thing is, you don't have to be. And so, Grandparents Magic Club, it's going to be the thing they jump over the Nintendo to get to.
Sure.
Because you've got a great trick to either perform for them, or to at least, or maybe teach them, or one of these two-person tricks where they're the secret helper. Right. So I want this class to be something like that, so that they can teach the kid a trick, be a mentor. They could be the performer that gets the wow, and also the teammate that when they're at family parties, he's the one kicking them under the table when the right number comes along for the trick, and the kid looks amazing because Grandpa's there. Right. So develop that different relationship, deeper relationship with your grandchild. That's hard to get because I've seen people not have that connection, and I've got the tool to do that. So I've developed the program, and so that's going to be rolling out when I get this. I think I got a nice little place I'm going to do it at. Nice. And so like that could be the next 5 or 10 years my home base.
Well, right. If someone's listening to this and they want to get in touch with you, and they're driving that, how do people find you?
WillFern.com.
Just WillFern.com.
Yeah, and we'll put the link to it.
Yeah, we'll put the link at the bottom of the video. So if they just want to click on it, it's like a website. We'll just click on it.
No, I'm not really an Instagram guy, really. Facebook, I'm really a Facebook guy. No TikToks. No, I don't go on there. Hey, let me show you a trick. Care about how there's a billion guys that are way younger and better looking than me doing that. Nobody wants to watch
WillFern.com.
Guy. Yeah. All right, but you know what? We have time for one more thing before we go?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to play an old Irish drinking game. So this is one of the things I do when I walk up to a table. If I stood, is that okay with the camera over there?
Do we need a drink?
That one, that was.
Use that one, okay. So it's an old Irish drinking game, right?
Do you try to do it with this camera?
Yeah, because to me nothing says hanging at the Rob and Rob podcast. This is going to be tough with the voice. I'll just go
help me on
like this. Thank you. So hopefully you can hear me. So it's an old Irish. This is one of the things I do when I start at a table. Okay. So I'm just do an old Irish drinking game because to me nothing says bat mitzvah more than old Irish drinking game. You get a bunch of old Jewish folks, right? Yeah. So for that I need somebody old and Irish. Thank God you're here. Yep. And and I look for the least Irish guy on the table.
Right.
Last night, Franco. So what is your last name?
Obasino.
Obasino?
No, it's Bacino.
Okay, Mick Bacino, let's do this. All right, we're going to Irish it up a little bit here.
Yep.
So you're going to be the king of Ireland. This, of course, your peasants serve. I'm sorry. Your little prince. Prince, right?
Yes.
So if you could, you'll be the king. Everybody's got to follow the king. Everybody okay? Follow the king. Okay, so tell them fingers up. Tell them fingers up.
Fingers up.
Fingers up.
Okay, maybe the worst Irish accent ever. Fingers up, laddie.
Fingers up,
nice,
laddie.
Okay. Now watch it. Now tell them to point at the coin. Tell them point at the coin.
Point at the coin.
Okay, first one's easy. You got it right, Rob. Well done. You got that right. Congratulations, you're above average. and remember what that feels like. It takes 3 shots to win 50 each of Dave's dollars. Dave's a team guy. Thanks, Dave. Okay. So tell him again, Rob. Fingers up.
Fingers up, right? Rob.
And tell him again to point at the coin. Tell him point at the coin. All right, be honest. Be honest. Because always one guy goes for the gimp hand, and that's why magicians are horrible people, because it's not if. Like, I'm trying to bait you over here. Always somebody goes to the stiff hand. Yeah. Right. Always somebody points to this one.
Right.
Okay. And that's it, because it's not if, it's when we're going to pull something stupid. That's our job.
Right.
So, for example, they're going to think, maybe the shiny object, Rob, is meant to catch the eye. Mm-hmm. It's meant to catch the eye. They're going to think the furtive maneuver, right, is meant to deceive the senses. And it usually does. But then they're going to wonder, Rob. Oh, guys, here's the part. They're always going to wonder. Maybe it's by the, actually, I guess which camera? You're still on your camera. Okay. Maybe it's by the elbow over here or by the elbow over here. And always, Rob, it's by the elbow over here. But they never think, Rob, ever think the coin is going to be next to the Cabernet.
What?
And that's why nobody wins my game, boys. Nobody wins my game. Boom.
What?
And I'll give that to
You're not supposed to be speechless when
That's
you
for you,
host
sir.
the podcast.
That's for you. Please enjoy the wine. 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 Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's
Like that?
no
Yeah. Okay. But do you like Cabernet or no?
Yes, love that.
If it's not, I also have some Chardonnay. 2 years of COVID, I got one new joke. Thanks a lot. Chardonnay, right? I'll tell you what happened there, right? I went to take the shoe off, and I don't use this when I work. This is really tight.
Right.
I couldn't get it off.
Yeah, what's about?
I had a Charlie horse working. I almost went down.
Oh my God.
I did that one other time. I was working at this. This is great. I'm at the Waldorf Astoria, some really swanky, the American English Business Roundtable.
Right.
So all the heads of England, business in England and America, all in one big place, talking about the next year's trade negotiation, whatever. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
All these power guys, right?
Yeah.
So I'm at the cocktail hour and I'm doing this, right? And I'm about to do the shoe thing, right? So I go and it's just real quick. I just bring out my leg, quick, grab off the shoe and produce it, right? Just a little gag. And I just bought this new pair of tuxedo. I never wear tuxedos when I work, so I have tuxedo shoes.
Right.
Super tight.
You got the Waldorf.
I am yanking this shoe. I can't get it off me. Massive
Charlie horse.
Right down.
Injury
right down.
on the injury.
Right. I got like Lord.
There's
Lord,
no
Lord
trainer to come in and help you.
And I got Vinny, the head of, like Bear Stearns, literally on the ground, straightening out my leg, like rubbing my hamstring. I am screaming in pain. Like, God, you ever get one full on and you are down? Dude,
Yes.
it was great. It was fantastic. It was.
Let me ask you a question. Why don't you have the Magic podcast? Has it been done already?
There's a million of them.
Yeah.
There is?
Oh, there's a million of them. Yeah. If you guys want to have fun, there's a lot of good Magic podcasts out there.
These stories need to be heard.
Dude, I have
These
no
stories
idea.
are magic.
These stories are magic.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Where?
I like the bottle, a nice full bottle of wine, right? And people always wonder if it's real. No, of course it's real, right?
Yeah, it's real.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, anyway, one more quick story.
Sure.
So
If we got time on the camera.
all right, you got time? Yeah. All right.
Good,
So it's
go.
just this life on the road as a magician, right? So Jerry Jones, right, guy who owns the Cowboys,
yeah.
right? So anyway, I done some. Whatever, I did some yacht shows, some famous people, whatever, here and there. And so this one calls me up, whatever. This new head of, what do you call it, the captain, right? Saw me at another boat, some of the big Microsoft, billionaires, whatever. So I'm over at Jerry Jones's boat, and it's just him and 10 of his high school buddies. Yeah. So out in the middle of Bermuda somewhere, right? And so I'm talking, and it's like salt of the earth. Like, these aren't the billionaires. This is his high school buddies.
Right.
From every walk of life.
Right.
Good old Southern boys from Arkansas.
Right.
And then one guy's like, "Where are you from, son? You talk awful fast." New Yorkers? I said, "Well, close. I'm in Jersey." And then Jerry goes, "What are you, a Giants fan?" I said, "Oh, no, Mr. Jones. I never be a Giants fan. No, that's no fun." He says, "Hold on." I said, "NFC East, though." And I wink at him. He goes, "You Cowboys fan?" I said, "Mr. Jones, it would be pretty easy to cop to that, but I'm honest. I'm an honest man. No, I'm not a Cowboys fan." I said, "Well, I'll tell you what." And I had a burgundy blazer on. I said, "But my blazer belies my football heart." He goes, "Oh, God, you're a freaking Redskins fan?" He said the word.
Right.
I said, "Well, he goes, on my boat?" So I had it already. I said, "Mr. Jones, tell you what, if I didn't hate the Cowboys so much, this boat wouldn't be so big now, would it?"
There you go.
This boat is 120 yards long.
Wow.
A football field.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
$750 million at completion. Yeah. Not a dinghy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
That was a nice boat to walk around.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Nice.
And then to finish the show, I get this dumb joke I do with a pig, right? And it's just a callback joke, whatever. So at the end, I turn over the big finish. It's a pig. Right? Actually, you see the back of a playing card on a big plastic card. And so, Jerry, please, if you could, name the card. It's been apparently on the wall the whole time. At the end, I set up that the guy names a card. End of the show. If he nails the card, standing ovation. Jerry, name the card. He goes, "I think it's a 7 of spades." And now earlier on, a trick ended with a pig.
Right.
It was all pigs. He had to choose one. I said, "Come on, Jerry, it's a pig." So from a playing card back, I turn over the card. Now it's a pig calling back the old joke. It's a big laugh.
Right.
It's a pig, Jerry, it's a pig. So they're all laughing. Again, you got to see the joke. Anyway, fine. But he goes, "Well, hold on. You got to sign that over to me. I'm an old Razorback." And I said, "Hold on." I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, we're Razorbacks.
That's where you played college ball.
Yeah, that's where he played college ball at University of Arkansas. I said, "Okay, tell you what. So get this. I take this big 8x10, or actually, 8x10 picture of a pig, And I just signed, to my pal Jerry. Smooth sailing, love Will. Right? Because he just got the boat less than a year ago, right? So he goes, you know what? This is going right up over the fireplace. I said, come on. So if you're on Jerry Jones' boat, my autograph is on his fireplace.
Wow,
right?
over the mantle. Wow, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Now, keep in mind, I haven't been called back because I'm a Redskins fan.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's right.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Wow. So you got stories, man. You got some very interesting stories.
Tales of woe and tales of success. Yeah.
Well, you've entertained thousands. You've brought joy to so many people's hearts. You seem to be in a great place after happily married.
Oh yeah, my wife is the greatest thing that ever happened.
You got a lot of blessings under you.
I'm very blessed, and we started teaching CCD, so that's a whole other fun thing we're doing this year. We
at St. Mags?
Yeah, St. Mags.
We're both
St.
St.
Mags.
Mags.
Okay. Actually, you look familiar. Actually.
Okay.
What mass do you go to?
9, 10:30.
Okay, I go to 10:30 once in a while. Usually I go to noon because if I have a late gig Saturday, we go to noon.
My wife reads a lot. She's up there. My son serves, so yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice. Yeah. So we're in the St. Mags, and so yeah, that's another thing that we did Christ Life in the fall.
Okay,
We're going to start
great.
again next week.
Right.
Christ Life session, right? So we really enjoyed that.
You work the tables there.
I did a show for Father Begenti. Okay. So already, whatever. That's another very funny story. He was like the littlest kid, and as you can imagine, Father Ken was just a 5-year-old watching my magic show.
Yeah.
He was laughing. We had a great time. Yeah. His big laugh.
Well, my son saw you out in the trunk or treat one time. I think it was.
Oh yeah, the trunk or treat. Yeah, we won.
Yeah.
$50 gift card on Amazon.
Nice. There
my
you go.
my wife's dressed up like Saint Teresa, little flower with the flowers around the crucifix, and my wife is really cute.
Oh, cool.
And then I was Don Bosco, right? St. John Don Bosco,
right,
who was a patron saint of magicians.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
because you remember he built that orphanage for boys. Well, it was not necessarily an orphanage, but it was a school for boys who needed food and shelter.
Right,
and
right.
He took the poorest kids, and he would entertain them and draw them in with magic.
Wow.
So that was one of his vehicles
Sure.
and one of his means for his what do you call the word? Not his mission, but his ministry.
Ministry,
was
yeah.
magic. Yeah. So he's the patron saint of magic. So I dressed up like St. John Don Bosco. I was doing tricks. I had all my magic paraphernalia on my car,
Very
giving away
cool.
tricks and giving away candy. So yeah. It was fun. It was fun.
Nice.
It's a kick, yeah.
I'll be on the lookout for you then.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I'll see you in church.
Yeah, cool.
Well,
This was awesome.
This was awesome.
This was
awesome.
excellent.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for coming on the Help Me Out Middle Age podcast.
Yeah.
Well, I am
absolutely.
middle-aged, and again, my only message out there, if I could be so bold as to offer one, is that if there's any dreams you wish you'd done, you still got time, guys. Like, you can always do something part-time, whatever that thing was.
Sure.
Right? I still want to get my little. I thought years ago I could have been a magic. So I'm still going to do my little magic shop. I'm still going to make that happen because I still got time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, my own little theater. So you guys get freebies on my first night show.
Oh,
All
thank
right?
you. Thank you.
Yeah, you'll be in town. You'll see it advertised, I'm sure.
And it's willfern.com.
Right.
Willfern.com. If you look them up, if you need any events,
Right.
you'll be
Sure,
happy
yeah.
to,
Yep.
absolutely.
Weddings and bar mitzvahs and any
Corporate events, yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
And my team building, teammagicinc.com. You want to laugh? Look at the video at teammagicinc.com. It's a team building I've done all around the country. I had one of the CEOs of Pfizer, we have a couple, I guess, told me it was the best team building he'd ever seen. I mean, each table gets tricks. They learn them, they perform them for each other, and they use costumes to tell stories about their business. And so breakdowns in communication are cuts in the rope that eventually gets healed. And so, or whatever. All these little tricks
tie
that
it
each
in,
table
yeah.
does, and they present their metaphorical stories and all the inside jokes. It is a scream. And they're still talking about their problems and solutions,
Right.
which is a meaningful team building. And that's why that was a hit. That's always been, the past 20 years, it's been a pretty good hit for me, the team building. I just love that, man.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Help Me Out Middle Age podcast. Please scroll down, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share with friends and family so we can get more great guests on like Will.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks
Rob.
so much,
Thank you,
Will.
Rob. It was a blessing. Thanks.
Take
It was
care.
really fun
Thank
to
you.
talk and have you guys, lead me through telling everybody all about a guy they don't even know.
They know you now.
Fascinating to us.
Willfern.com.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.